It's Ash from Super Videos, back for another video for Season 7 of Fear the Walking Dead. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at whether Alicia survived and whether she's gone for good. So stay tuned, we'll be right back to break it all down. Alright, as always, before we jump into this, smash that like button, subscribe to join our community, and press the bell to be notified when I upload on the channel. With that said, let's dive right in. But before we do, I do want to put out a spoiler warning in case you have not watched Season 7 Episode 15, because there's a few things I'm going to mention here that may spoil some things from that episode for you. So with that, let's get right into it. So obviously, it was confirmed that Season 7 Episode 15 was Alicia Debnam Carey's final episode and that she's not going to be returning, at least not in the near future. So what we saw at the end of Season 7 Episode 15 was a situation where all of the survivors were able to escape and kind of run away from the contaminated zone, making their way to the east of the United States. And Alicia stayed behind to wait for the people that were heading there who may have heard her radio communication about Padre. Now, the one thing I do want to mention is that it's definitely a good thing that we're finally, hopefully, getting past the nuclear fallout story, because it's been going on for a long time. And realistically, it makes sense for the survivors to at some point need to head out, because they're going to run out of resources, run out of supplies, and they're not going to be able to find a safe location to stay at, to outlive the nuclear fallout. The only place that they had that served that purpose was Strand's Tower, which burned down at the end of last episode. So it definitely makes sense for the survivors to finally move away from the area. Now, what we know as well is that Fear Season 8 will actually be in Virginia, which is definitely closer to the location that we see on the Walking Dead's original show at this point with Commonwealth. So it is definitely a possibility that at some point Fear the Walking Dead story might intertwine with the stories from the original show and the spin-offs for the original show. But when it comes to Alicia and whether she survived or not, she definitely did. What was revealed at the end of 7:15, or what I got out of it, is that she stopped having the high fevers that she had, and it definitely feels like she will no longer have her reoccurring dreams like she did before. It doesn't really matter because she's not going to come back. But as far as her sickness, I think that we're finally over that story, or I hope we're finally over that story. Now, when it comes to whether she's going to return, obviously, if she returns to Fear, it won't be anytime soon. If anything, it might be a couple years down the line. And a few years down the line, obviously, Fear would be at its season, let's say 10 or 11. But in my opinion, I don't think Fear is going to live that long. I think if Season 8 is not its final season, then Season 9 will almost definitely be. So I don't think that Fear is going to live on for another 3 years. And I don't think that Alicia Debnam Carey, who plays Alicia, will want to come back, have any desire to come back, unless they want to pull another potential Rick thing on us and have her come back just to satisfy fans, but for it to not really serve the purpose of the story. And honestly, it doesn't really make sense for her to come back because there would be no impact. Like, at this point, Alicia reuniting with any of the characters won't really make sense or won't be impactful. It wouldn't matter, at least not to me. The only people that make sense for Alicia to really reunite with and for it to be impactful when she returns are Strand and Madison. Now, when it comes to Strand, I honestly don't think that he's gonna survive the season. I don't think he's gonna make it past Season 7. So I don't think Strand is gonna be there when Alicia returns, if she returns at some point in the future. And other than Strand, I think maybe 80% of the cast that we know right now from Fear will probably have already left, or their character counterparts would have died by then. So who is Alicia going to come back and reunite with? Most of them are going to be gone anyway. When it comes to Madison, though, I don't think it's a situation of not being impactful. It would be not as impactful. Personally, I just don't care. Like, it doesn't make sense for them to bring Madison back and not have her reunite with Alicia already. Like, I'm not even asking for an entire season with Madison and Alicia again and for them to reunite. I'm just asking for like at least an episode. That would be good enough for me as a fan. But they didn't do that. They didn't have Alicia reunite with Madison. So if you didn't do that now, who cares if you're gonna do it down the line? It would obviously be way overdue at that point. The time to do it would have been now. Like, if they did it now, it would have made sense and it would have been impactful. But doing it down the line, who cares? And also, that's if Madison is still gonna be in the story at that point. In short, I don't think Alicia's gonna come back in Fear. If anything, she's probably gonna return and be part of the story for the universe in a spin-off. Either a spin-off of her own, which I think would make sense because at the end of 715, she did stay behind to help the people that were heading to that area because they heard her radio message about Padre. Although, I don't think it would be quite interesting. Maybe a little bit, but not quite. Unless they have a big time jump or something like that and have the aftermath of that whole story. She could also join another spin-off. One of the spin-offs that we already have planned for The Walking Dead. Either the one with Daryl in Europe, which is not really as realistic and it's less likely, or the one with Negan and Maggie in Manhattan, New York, in Isle of the Dead. Or perhaps other spin-offs that they may have planned. Or they may even do something along the lines of have her pop up in the final 8 episodes of The Walking Dead, which is, again, less likely because the storyline doesn't quite fit. It makes more sense for Morgan's group to be there than Alicia. But like I said, it's definitely possible that she may make a comeback down the line in a few years in one of the spin-offs. I think if the Walking Dead universe history has given us any lesson, it's that if we didn't see a character die, they're not dead. And if a character has an open-ended exit, they will almost certainly return down the line. But that's pretty much everything that I wanted to talk about in this video. But I'm definitely interested to know your thoughts and opinions. Do you think Alicia will return? And if she does, do you think it'll be on Fear the Walking Dead? Or do you think she's gonna make a comeback in a spin-off, either one of her own or another one that's planned? So share your thoughts and opinions down in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this video, smash that like button, subscribe to join our community, and press the bell to be notified when I upload on the channel. That's it for this video. See you next time for another super video.